welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you a high-end versus drugstore dupe. So the total whopping price is the high-end side at $408 and the low-end side at $96. So if you like this video and you want to see more, then just please keep on watching. Also, can you even tell what side's high-end and what side's low-end? Leave down in the comment section below right now what your guess is, which side. Other than that, guys, just keep on watching. So this side of my face is going to be my drugstore side, and this side is going to be my high-end. So here I have a printed out list of all the different prices and the comparison. So first we're going to start with primer. So for my foundation primer today, I chose the Benefits Professional for my high-end side and the Maybelline Baby Skin on this side. So the Professional is $31 and the Baby Skin is $6. So let's see how they compare. The Baby Skin Primer is a lot more silicone-y, but it still applies on the skin really nicely and it looks like it fills in the pores, so I think that's really good. As for the Professional side, it's a little bit more silicone-y as well, but it has a little bit of a tint. It definitely really fills in the pores, but I feel like they're very similar in texture and they both glide on the skin really nicely. My skin feels the same on both sides, so I feel like they did pretty good. Let's see if they're a dupe. I think I would compare them as a dupe. I'd say I like the Professional a little bit better just from previous experiences and everything, but I do like the way my skin feels on both sides. So for foundation today, I have the Makeup Forever Ultra HD on the high-end side, and this is one of my favorite foundations ever, so I really like this. The other one is the Revlon Photo Ready Foundation. They're very similar, the packaging is kind of similar, but the price difference is this is $50 and this is $10. So I'm going to even use them on different, for the high end I'm going to use the Beauty Blender, and for the low end I'm going to use the Morphe sponge. So let's see how they do. I'm going to take the Revlon one. Let's just hope the color difference isn't too much. Okay, so that is what the foundation looks on both sides. I think they look pretty similar. Let me get a mirror so I can actually look up close. They're not sinking into my pores in any area. The color's a little off. This side's a little bit paler, but overall I feel like the finish and everything is very, very similar, and I think it looks like it's definitely a dupe. The next dupe is the Urban Decay Naked Skin versus the Sephora Bright Future Serum Concealer. These are two concealers that I really like, so let's see if they're up to the test. So first I'm going to put the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I'm just going to do it under my eyes because I feel like the foundation. So for both the concealers, I'm going to apply them under my eyes, on my forehead, and on my chin. They both have the same texture and they're very silky and they look like they blend out well. They're a little bit of a different color. One's more pinky and one's more neutral tone, so there's that right off the bat. So the Urban Decay Naked Skin one is $28 and the Sephora Serum Concealer is $14. They're both two concealers that I use all the time, so let's put them to the test. So I'm going to take the Beauty Blender for this side. So I'm going to blend the Naked Skin Concealer using the Beauty Blender, and it blends very nicely and is very seamless and it doesn't sink into any of the lines. I really think these are going to be a dupe just because I've used them previously. So now I'm just going to blend in the Sephora side using my Morphe Beauty Sponge. I'm just going to blend the Sephora one using the Morphe Beauty Sponge, using the exact same techniques. Now that I'm done, I definitely think these are a dupe because I'm looking at them and they look the exact same of how the finish is and how it looks on my skin. So I definitely like the way this looks. So the next dupe we're going to test out is powder. So the first one for the high-end side is the Kat Von D Lock It Translucent Setting Powder, and then for the low-end side it is the NYC Loose Smooth Skin Face Powder. I have used both of these before and I don't know if they're a dupe or not because I've never compared them, so let's try it out. So what I'm going to do for these is I'm just going to bake overall, and then I'll just take a little bit on my brush and set to each side. So let's get into that. So just taking the damp Beauty Blender, I'm going to take the Lock It powder and I'm going to set it underneath my eyes, around my chin, around the side of my nose, and on my forehead. So far it's giving a really nice finish, and then once I'm done doing that, I'm going to take a little bit on a big fluffy brush and I'm just going to set the rest of my high-end side with that, and then I'm going to move on to the NYC side. That is what that looks like. So doing the exact same thing, I'm taking the damp Beauty Blender sponge from Morphe, and I'm just going to put the NYC powder around my nose, under my eyes, around my chin, and on my forehead, and then once again taking the big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to set the rest of that side of my face so that I'm doing the exact same side to one side as I am to the other, just different products. Look very same on the skin. They set all my under eyes really well. Everything looks very good. It has the same finish almost. I think these may be a dupe. So far, I think that the 4 products we've tried, I would say are a dupe. So for the bronzers today, these are 2 that I definitely think are dupes in my opinion. I've used both of these for years now and I love them. So for the high-end side, we have Hoola bronzer, and then for the low-end side, we have the NYC Sunny bronzer. And even if you just look at them, they're very, very similar in color. Or the M527, which is my favorite bronzer brush. So I'm gonna try this out just so they both have a fair chance. So the Hoola side blends really, really seamlessly into the skin. I also think it has a little bit more of a cooler tone to it rather than the Sunny side, but I'm just gonna blend this on around the perimeter of my face just to bronze up a bit, not really contour. So now I'm gonna wipe off the brush and I'm gonna use the NYC Sunny. I definitely think they are a dupe. The NYC Sunny one's a little bit warmer, but you can't tell once it's on the skin, and it's a good dupe because the Hoola bronzer is $29 and the Sunny one is $4, so that's a huge difference in price for like pretty much the same product. There is these. Definitely think this is a dupe, so try out the NYC Sunny bronzer if you don't want to splurge on the Hoola. Okay, so now on for blush, I have another dupe, and the one that I'm doing is NARS Orgasm versus Milani Luminoso. So Orgasm is $30 and then Luminoso is only $8. So this is what they look like. So let me swatch them on my hand. So just based off of the swatches, I definitely don't think they are a dupe. They are very similar. Luminoso is a little bit more orangey and peachy, while NARS Orgasm is a lot more pinky. So let's apply them on the cheeks and we'll see. So I'm gonna use a Carity F29 brush. So I'm first gonna take Orgasm. So it just gives a nice glow, and I like Orgasm because like Luminoso, there is a little bit of shimmer in it, so it does give a little bit of a glow to your skin as well. These are both 2 of my all-time favorite blushes, so I really like them. Okay, so looking at it firsthand, I definitely do not think these are a dupe. Like you saw on the swatch, the one is a lot more peachy and the one is a lot more pink. I do think they are similar and they both give a very radiant glow to your skin, but I don't think they're a dupe. And then the next dupe I'm gonna try is highlighter. So it's comparing Soft and Gentle at $32 compared to the Hard Candy Tiki bronzer, which is only $9. So they look like this. Mine actually shattered in the shipping, so I had to repress it. So already I don't think it's gonna be an exact dupe. So right off the bat, I do think they are similar. I don't know if you can tell or not, but Soft and Gentle is at the bottom and the Tiki bronzer at the top. And I think Tiki is a little bit more warm rather than pinky like Soft and Gentle. Overall, I think they look pretty much the same on the skin. They both have the same amount of kickback to them, so they're a little bit powdery, but they do give the same look once they actually apply to your skin. So I do think these are a dupe. Even though in the swatch, they're not identical, I definitely think on the skin they do look like a dupe. Too Faced Shadow Insurance based off of the Milani Shadow Primer. Okay, so those are them applied. I definitely think so far first off the bat, I think they are a dupe. The Too Faced Shadow Insurance is $20 while the Milani one is only $7. So for our high-end side, we're going to use the Lorac Pro palette, which looks like this, compared to the Maybelline The Nudes palette. As you can tell, the colors are very, very similar. They may look like a dupe. So I'm just gonna try to find the colors that I think are the most similar, and then I'm going to use them on my eyes. Okay, so first I'm going to take Taupe from the Lorac Pro palette. I'm going to put that in my crease. And then from the Maybelline The Nudes palette, I'm going to take this shade here, which is very similar to Taupe. So I really like the way the Lorac shade is applying. It's applying very nicely, it's blending very easily, it's super pigmented. Overall, Lorac's eyeshadows are really nice. They're a little bit more powdery, but they're super nice. From the Maybelline The Nudes palette, I'm going to apply it on my drugstore side. These colors aren't identical, but once they're applied on the skin, they do look very, very similar and give the same look. Tea Bronze, which I think is like a short for light bronze, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to apply that on my eyelid. And then from the Maybelline The Nudes palette, I'm going to take this shade right here. Apply it to my eyelid. This one has a lot of fallout already. The cheek is covered in it. So let's hope that the other one is not as bad. It is very pigmented and has a nice sheen to it, but there is a lot of fallout on my cheek. The Maybelline one is a lot more golden, and it also is very patchy and not super pigmented. I had to go back through and layer a whole bunch to get the actual color I wanted. It's not awful, and it does give a very similar look, just not the same. The shade right here, it's a little bit more of a warmish brown, and I'm just going to intensify my crease. And then from the Maybelline Nudes palette, I'm going to take this shade right here. The shade from the Lorac palette is super pigmented. I even had to go back and blend it out with a clean brush just to get rid of harsh edges. But the Maybelline one is not as pigmented, and I had to go back through and layer. They give the same look. The Maybelline one is a little bit more cool toned, but they definitely gave a very similar appeal. Then going back in with the same shades that I used on my crease that I just used, I'm going to go my lower lash line. So the Lorac one applied super nice. I didn't have to dip back in the powder much at all. But for the Maybelline side, I had to keep dipping into the palette to get the color to even show up. They do give the same look, but the one is very less pigmented. Right here from the Lorac palette, and then from the Maybelline palette, I'm going to take this shimmery shade here. For me, these shades were super different. So the Lorac one was very pigmented, and once I applied it, I had to go back in and kind of blend it out with my finger because it was so pigmented, and then I just dusted away some fallout because there was some from the rest of the look. Then from the Maybelline one, I had to layer that so much to get it to actually show up. It was very not pigmented at all, and I had to keep layering it, and it was kind of a struggle to get it to be as pigmented as I wanted it to be. Lorac palette, even though it has a lot more fallout, it definitely is a lot more pigmented and the colors blend nicely. But this shade does have a few really nice pigmented ones, but overall I don't think it's a dupe. I do recommend maybe picking this up because it is pretty nice, but there is a few shades that need a lot of work. So I would skip and actually splurge on the palette that is $42 rather than the $10 palette. Next dupe we're going to go in with is eyeliner. So I have the Kat Von D Tattoo liner, and then I have the Maybelline Precise eyeliner. I like both of these eyeliners, so we're going to compare them. So it's $20 versus $7. So I'm just going to try to go in and do my everyday wings. The Kat Von D liner applied like a dream. The brush was very easy to work with, and it just went very well. It's very super pigmented. It's easy to work with. You have a lot of control, and it gets the exact look that you want without having to try too hard. I believe the Maybelline is an exact dupe for it because it's just as easy to use, it's just as black, and you can get the same amount of wings as you want. It's the same pretty much brush. The Maybelline one is just a little bit longer. Overall, I do think this is an exact dupe. So if you don't want to splurge on the $20 Kat Von D one yet, I definitely would go for the $7 Maybelline Precise. Mascara, I'm going to compare Benefit's Roller Lash versus the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This one is $10 and this one is $29. So definitely a big difference in price, so let's try them out to see if they're a dupe. So this one is the Maybelline one, and this one is the Roller Lash. They're very similar, they both have the curve. Overall, the formula was really nice on the Roller Lash. It seemed a little less watery than the Maybelline Lash Sensational, but I've also had this one a little bit longer, so it may be just kind of dried out. But it did apply very nicely, and once it dried, it did not transfer or anything onto my lower lash line. For me, the Maybelline Lash Sensational was a little bit more wet, and I don't know if it's because that's a new one compared to my Roller Lash, which I've had for a bit, but they did give the same effect to my eyelashes. They looked very long and curly, and it did not transfer once it dried. So as for the mascara, I definitely think it's a dupe. I really like both of these. Benefit Goof Proof Pencil for $24 compared to the Revlon Color Stay Pencil for $8. I really like this Revlon pencil. The only difference I think between this and the Goof Proof is this is a little bit more creamy, so you can make a little bit more mistakes, but it's easy to blend out with the spoolie, so you get the same look. So now we're gonna go to the Goof Proof side. Goof Proof is just a little bit more dry, and I think you have a little bit more control because it's not gonna like slip and slide all over the place. But I do think overall that these two brow pencils are almost identical and that they are a dupe, and they give you the same look. Lastly, I'm going to do the lips. So this one I think is a definite dupe. So first we have the MAC Rebel lipstick, which is $17, compared to the Wet n Wild Sugar Plum Fairy lipstick for $2. So first off with the MAC's Rebel lipstick, this is one of my favorite all-time dark lipsticks, and I think it is very creamy and pigmented, and it applies very nicely. I do think the colors of these two lipsticks are almost identical, because as you can see when I apply the Wet n Wild Sugar Plum Fairy one, it looks identical. So overall, from looking at the lips, they're definitely a dupe. They're almost identical. You can't even tell that I have two different colors on. Overall, we found a lot of good products that I definitely think are dupes and some that we would pass on. If you like this video and you want to see more kind of like the high end versus low end, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up to let me know. Also, subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Overall, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!